Hi, it's Leslie with Moxxi Coffee Company. We have a very wonderful guest tonight for our Fearless Female. Is it Tamar?
Yes.
Okay, glad I said that right. I should have asked first. I normally do. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. So we stumbled upon your page on Instagram, and it sounds like you're up to a lot of different things. It says esthetician, baker, woodworker, and yogi.
Yes.
Which came first?
Well, animator came first, but that's that's not on there anymore. I guess more of like baker, and then woodworking, yogi, and now esthetician.
Okay.
Did I already say esthetician?
Oh, well, I mentioned it because it's first on your list on your Instagram. So are all of these, are these hobbies, are these professions, are they?
Esthetician is my profession.
Okay.
I'm an esthetician, and I also have my own company where I make skincare, bath bombs, shower steamers so far. But this year I'm going to be working on facial masks and body scrubs, stuff like that. So a lot of new items coming out this year.
I did see, I think they were bath bombs, the little smooch print bath bombs.
Yeah.
Moxxi, we're all about the smooch prints. I love it. I'll have to check some of those out. How did you, did you start out making, some of the bath soaps and then get into aesthetics, or?
No, I was an animator first, and then I got tired of being on the computer all day. And so one day I was working from home for my boss, and my computer broke down. This was back in like 2011. And so I was like, that's it. This is my last day, and I quit. And so right around the same time, my friend posted on Facebook. She was like, hey, I'm in aesthetic school. Come get your brows done by me. And I was like, oh, I need my brows done. So I made an appointment that day, and I went there and I got my brows done. And I was looking around. I was like, oh, this is really beautiful. This looks like something I'd be into. So I made another appointment that day to come back and do a tour of the school, and that was it. I signed up right away. I've been an esthetician for 10 years. And ever since I was in school, I've always wanted to make my own skincare. And so a friend and I were talking about it a couple of years ago, and we started Bear Fox Beauty together. We're not business partners anymore because he was in California and I was here in Idaho. And so it was just hard to do that long distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So how long have you had Bear Fox?
I've had the company since 2019. Mm-hmm. And the website has been up for about a year now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What is that website?
BareFoxBeauty.com. So BARE.
Okay.
Fox Beauty.
Very nice. And you said you've got bath bombs, and what other products do you offer now?
Shower steamers.
Nice.
And then this year I'll be working on body scrubs, lip scrubs, facial masks, probably some facial serums, and I'm looking forward to just making a lot of new items this year.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you are mostly e-commerce at this point?
Yes. Well, I do wholesale as well, and I do have my products in a few places out here in Boise.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And do you have your own esthetician practice, or do you run a suite?
No, I work for a company. I work for Heidi Lane Aesthetics.
Nice.
Out here. Yeah. Been with them for almost 4 years.
And tell me a little bit more about the baking.
Baking, something I've just always done since high school, ever since taking a home ec class. Mm-hmm. And I just love to always play around with it and try to come up with healthier versions of recipes. Sometimes they don't always taste as good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still working on those. Yeah, it's all tweaking. I have a banana bread recipe that I've been tweaking since I was a teenager. So not saying how long that's been.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I try not to date myself anymore.
Yeah.
So is that
Sometimes
something
I have
that
to
you
do
just,
the math.
yeah, right? No, I don't math well, so it works out for me.
Yeah.
I can just pretend that it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
So is that something that you just kind of do for fun? You do for friends?
It is something I just do for fun and for friends. There was a point where I kind of wanted to do it professionally. But yeah, I just it just didn't happen for some reason. I don't know why, but just my path went somewhere else with it. Yeah.
It's funny how that happens when you
Yeah.
start one spot and then end up way over there. I mean, I was a hairstylist before COVID, and here I am. How about the woodworking?
My husband got me into woodworking. When we met, that's when I had just been in the aesthetics industry for about a year, and so I was like, I'm going to open up my own business. And I had a body waxing salon first, and so he helped me. His parents had a woodworking space in their garage, and so he taught me how to make a lot of stuff, and we built a lot of things for my wax salon. And it was a lot of fun. And so now we have a house and we have this big woodworking shop in the garage, and we like to build things. One day I got home and he was like, I built this bed upstairs. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I did it today. So yeah, we like to build bookshelves, record shelves, beds apparently. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and looking forward to teaching our future kid how to do that.
Are you expecting or just
No.
anticipating?
No, we'll be adopting in a couple of years.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what, do you sell the woodworking pieces that you make, or just do it for your own personal use?
Right now it's just for fun. One day he would like to sell the stuff, and I would too. He has a domain. It's a glutenfreefurniture.com. It doesn't have anything on it.
That's interesting. I like that. I mean, healthy furniture, healthy baked goods.
Yeah.
It's all hand in hand, right? You gotta banish that gluten. It's no good for you. I also saw that you are a yogi.
Yes. When we moved to Idaho from California, first we moved to Ketchum, Idaho, which is also known as Sun Valley. And that's a very small ski town. And so I just had the hardest time finding work out there. And so I didn't want to work in restaurants. I've spent many, many years in restaurants, and I was just done with it. And that's basically what you do in ski town, is that you have to work at 3 different restaurants at the same time. And so I was trying to figure out what to do. And I was looking up yoga teacher training in Boise. It's only about 2.5 hours away. And so we would come out here every other weekend for that. But before I even found any work doing teaching yoga, my teacher introduced me to my boss, and she was like, she's hiring for an esthetician. And so that's how we ended up moving to Boise, and I was once again an esthetician.
There you go. How did you end up going from California to Idaho?
California was just getting way too expensive. We were in the Bay Area, and we wanted to buy a house. And so my husband used to come out to Ketchum, Idaho, to go skiing growing up. And so he was like, well, how about Ketchum? And we'd been out there few times together, and I was like, it's cute. I like it. It's nice and quiet. It's very nature-like, and there's a lot of outdoors things to do out there, skiing, hiking, stuff like that, fishing. But it was just too small for me. And, it's like, couldn't find a job. It was hard to meet people. Everybody knew each other,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how that goes.
But Boise is cool. Boise is like a little big city.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So it's been a good transition?
Totally.
Nice. Very nice. So how did you come to acquire so many different skills? Is it always something that you've wanted to do, just be involved in a lot of different things? Did you have like a singular focus that just kind of got rerouted all over the place, or just going with the flow?
I think a little bit of all of that, just kind of going with the flow and just trying to figure out like what the next step is and what to do with my life. Things just happen. Like I never thought that I would be an esthetician. Growing up, I was always doing art. I was always drawing and painting, and I always knew I wanted to be some type of artist. And even though I don't really draw and paint much, that art comes out in my bath bombs. If you've gone to Bear Fox Instagram page, you'll see all the detailed painting that I do on them, and I spend a lot of time on these.
That's got to be tough, though. It's got to be a tough medium to put that kind of time and effort into something that's literally going to dissolve.
Right.
I'm an artist myself. I don't know how I would feel about that. It's gotta be a little bittersweet.
It is. Sometimes I use the hashtag dissolved art, Yeah.
Yeah. And also like it's gotta be tough to sell a bath bomb for a price that's worthy of that time and talent.
Yes.
How do you balance that?
I have had to raise my prices because of the time that I do put into the bath bombs. And I was afraid at first that wasn't going to pan out, but I've actually been a lot busier since I've raised my prices. And I think that, once you put the value on your work, then people will see that value and pay for it.
Yeah, they preach that in business all the time. It could be a tough pill to swallow sometimes, though. It's until you watch it play out. People, it's a luxury item.
Yes, it is. It is, and it's not just that the reason that I've had to raise my prices, but because of all the supply chain, a lot of the ingredients have gone up too.
Oh, I'm sure. I know.
Yeah.
I have a line of coffee where we infuse the whole beans with different combinations of herbs and botanicals for the wellness properties. And I'm like, I wonder how much longer I'm going to be able to source this at that price.
Yes.
It's coming. My coffee price has already gone up. It's an interesting world. What kind of disruptions are you finding in your industry?
For some reason, citric acid is like...
Really?
It's just being held on the cargo ships or something. So citric acid prices have basically quadrupled in price over the past year. And they say it's supposed to keep going up. Fortunately, when I heard that it was about to go up, I bought a bunch, but I don't think I bought enough. So we'll see how long I could ride it. But I try to buy everything in bulk, like a lot of bulk. So sometimes it'll all show up on my doorstep. My husband's like, "Where are you going to put this?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it."
I was just going to ask you you must have a lot of storage.
Yeah. I have an office in the basement. It's not huge, but we build a lot of shelving in there. So.
Well, the woodworking comes in handy for that.
Yes. we did make a shelf with wood too in there.
Of course, the price of
my drying rack.
the lumber's gone way up too.
It has, yeah.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. So are you creating these? Do you have like a space that you use? Are you doing them in your home, making them in your home?
Right now I make them in my home,
Nice.
in my office. But eventually I would like to rent out a space or probably find some land and build a space because, you know, one day I would like to build a space to where I help women who have been in like domestic violence situations to like have a place for them to stay and give them a job and teach them some skills.
Oh, wonderful.
So I think that that's probably something to where I'd like maybe like to build that building from ground up. So if any situation arises, there's no chance of like getting kicked out by a landlord or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to get into some work like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's going to come with many, many challenges. I started a nonprofit myself about a year ago, and it's a lot of work. It's intense, but it's great work. The Fearless Female interviews that I do are kind of in conjunction with both the coffee company and the foundation. You know, because it's important. I do this because I like to share other people's stories that are doing, you know, really cool things in hopes that by sharing that you get to inspire one person to take the next step. So that being said, what are some of the challenges that you've had to face and overcome with all of these different projects?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's never easy. It's never a straight line.
Yeah. Just like the challenge of like sticking with it, you know, it's like I've never stuck with like teaching yoga or like the baking and stuff, but like I have a passion for what I'm doing right now. And so just like the challenge is like, how do I get to the next level where I want to be? And yeah, my business has only been around for a year and it's going to take a few years, but like, what are the next steps? You know, just not knowing how you're going to get there, but you just keep going.
Get up and do it every day. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but I'm going to do what I think I need to do today. That's pretty much how all of this happens. What are we going to throw at the wall today? It's working. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is just making sure that you get up and you do it every day. And maybe not every day. Every once in a while, it's okay to not.
Right.
Most days. Most days.
And I guess, you know, trying to figure out what it is that people want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very, very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when they tell you they want it, turns out that they don't really want it.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I made this for you. It's any small business has challenges of their own, and it sounds like you have some spatial challenges and some supply chain challenges, and you know, I'm sure time also, if you're trying to, if you're working as an esthetician and also trying to find time to not only make product, but develop new products and promote products. It's a lot of work.
It is, yeah. So like my days off are Tuesdays and Thursdays and like, you know, the weekends too, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are like the days that I get to devote to my business right now. And, you know, my biggest challenge with that right now is trying to figure out how to get to the point where I can only focus on my business and, you know, not have to do the other job anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
I call it the JOB. How much longer do you have to work the JOB?
Yeah.
Well, good good luck to you. It sounds like you've got a lot of really great things on the horizon. I'm gonna jump on your website. Do you still do the little smooch prints?
I do. It's not listed under the bath bombs tab right now, but I could upload it on there. It's under wholesale, so people can order it wholesale. But yeah, I could put it back up. And
well,
make
you
some.
know, the wholesale, we might be able to talk about that, because if you looked at my logo, we have the smooch print on top of the I for Moxxi, so I use that smooch print a lot. So
yeah,
you know, maybe hold on to that. We can do something on that. But yeah, we'll make sure to have your social media handles and everything attached to this. We'll put some links in there so people can find you. And good luck with your new product development. I'm excited to see what you come up with. With your masks, are you doing like clay masks, sheet masks?
More of like clay masks, hyaluronic acid masks, more hydrating with a little bit of clay. Clay is great for pulling stuff out, but the key to healthy skin is to not dry it out.
Yeah.
Keep it as hydrated as possible.
Yeah, that can be challenging. Can be very, very challenging, especially depending on your environment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me tonight. I really appreciate it. It sounds like you're very much like myself, a Jill of many trades.
Yeah.
A conversation with me would go very similarly to as the conversation with you of, well, I did this, but then I was doing that, and I'm not sure why I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, who knows what's next?
Yeah, so I guess like attracts like. And fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You enjoy the rest of your evening.